Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. I am going to be giving you some latest news on Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer, of what he has come out and said. Also going to be giving you the latest news on what Gary Neville has also come out and said, and there's lots of other things to talk about. But we'll start with the news on Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer. So Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer has come out recently and confirmed that we will enter a changed transfer market, due to the financial issues, because of the coronavirus pandemic. So he says, the transfer market, will be completely different this summer. Now, obviously, Solskjaer still wants to recommend Jadon Sancho into the football club. He still also wants to recommend Jack Grealish into the football club. So he's still keen on recommending an attacker in, even though he says, the transfer window this summer will be completely different than that. In a way, Solskjaer is replicating, what Ed Woodward had come out and said, a couple of weeks ago. Because don't forget, Ed Woodward had come out and, he told the fans for him that, he insists we will not do business as usual in the summer transfer market, due to, the coronavirus pandemic. So what I meant in that aspect is that, we won't be spending big on players. And Ed Woodward, of course, had ruled out any big transfers to Manchester United. But Ed Woodward has been talking a lot recently. Obviously, he came out not too long ago and, made a transfer promise to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And made a transfer promise to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and he insists, that we will remain highly competitive in the summer transfer market. Now, as what I've just read in the mainstream media, they've said Ole Gunnar Solskjaer could be given around £270 million to spend in the summer. Solskjaer's revealed that he wants to make around 4 signings in the summer. Because he believes we need around 4 signings to become title contenders. But, I'm very, very sceptical that we'll make 4 signings in the summer. Maybe we could make 1 signing or 2 signings, but I don't think, we'll make 4 signings. And don't forget, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United like he did do last summer. And he has identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. He wants to recommend a centre forward in. He also wants to recommend a right winger in, and he also wants to recommend a midfielder in. There's still some reports emerging out saying that Solskjaer wants to recommend a centre-half in, but I'm very, very sceptical that Manchester United will recommend a centre-half in that. But, before Ed Woodward came out with that statement quite a few weeks ago now, you had Solskjaer coming out saying that Manchester United, will exploit the transfer market, when it does open. Because, we do need more signings, definitely in that. And so far, Solskjaer has recruited 5 players into the football club in 3 transfer windows, and he has spent around £220 million. Of course, last summer, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire to the football club, and in January he recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. So I've got to say Solskjaer, enjoyed a successful January transfer window, but I've got to credit him, for the players that he has recommended into the football club so far. And Solskjaer, of course, has been at Manchester United now almost 17 months, so he has been here over the year, including, the 3 months when he was the interim manager and that. Also, too, Solskjaer has come out today and said, he will not force any of our players, to return, following the coronavirus pandemic. So he says if it isn't safe to do so, he won't force any of the players to return and that. Because the football season is supposed to be resuming sometime in June. I was hearing reports saying that it was going to resume on June the 6th and then June the 8th. I also heard a report saying that it's got to resume by the 19th of June so the season can be completed, because these are around 92 games to play in all competitions. But I think Premier League have said, they want the season completed by the 31st of July so European games can be played in August. Of course, the season will be played behind closed doors for public health reasons. I heard rumours saying that games will be played behind closed doors until 2021. This is what, I did currently hear and that. So, yeah, so Solskjaer has sent a transfer warning saying, it's the transfer market is going to be completely different this summer and that. So this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has confirmed. But he was already revealed his plans, for the summer anyway, because, he's got an idea of what players he wants to recommend in. He's also got an idea, of the players, that he wants to get rid of. We are planning on getting rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer transfer market. There were some reports saying that Solskjaer could sell up to 7 players in the summer. I think we're definitely going to get rid of Phil Jones because, he's one problematic player at the football club. Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United, and Phil Jones has been a United player since, the Ferguson era. So he's been here since the Ferguson era. I think he's been mainly inconsistent. Phil Jones doesn't even get into the team now, so this is, why we need to sell him, because I think Phil Jones is like our 5th or our 6th choice centre-half, so we do need to get rid of Phil Jones. I think we'll get rid of Rojo and Smalling on permanent transfers as well, because, they're out on loan at the moment. Smalling's out on loan with Roma. Rojo's out on loan at Estudiantes. I think we'll definitely get rid of Jesse Lingard and Andres Pereira, because they're also 2 liabilities. I think, we could possibly get rid of Diego Dalot, because Diego Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back. Alexis Sanchez, I'm hopeful that we can get rid of him on a permanent transfer. I think we're going to find it extremely difficult to get rid of Alexis Sanchez on a permanent transfer. Obviously, reflecting on his substantial wages, but I think we can loan Sanchez back out. I give you the news regarding Sanchez the other day, and, the Universidad de Chile president confirmed that, Sanchez will finish his career in Chile, so he's looking to return to Chile. It also said that Roma are interested in getting Sanchez out on loan, so there you go. He's on loan at Inter Milan at the moment, but Inter Milan have got no intentions of getting Alexis Sanchez permanently in that, and, we don't want him back at Manchester United, so there you go. So yeah, there's going to be a good 5 or 6 players, that do leave Manchester United in the summer, and I think we did say we're hoping to generate over £100 million for their departures. But Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood anyway since he got recommended in to the football club. So that's another thing I do credit him for. I really, really do. So, Solskjaer, wants to sign Jadon Sancho. Now, I think as a lot of Manchester United fans would have updated you recently, including me, because, I'm a Manchester United fan. Obviously, Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off, if recent reports are to be believed, because Sky Sports recently came out and they actually, said did Sky Sports, which is a reliable source. They said Borussia Dortmund do expect Jadon Sancho to stay in the summer. Possibly he could stay at Dortmund for at least another season, but even if he did, I don't think he'd be at Dortmund for the foreseeable future in that. Obviously, we've changed our plans now for the summer, and we've also changed our plans of getting Sancho, because we've actually, said now we are planning to sign Jadon Sancho in the summer of 2021, instead of signing him this summer. Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. Dortmund have said numerous times, that they want at least £100 million for the player. Manchester United are not willing to pay that £100 million valuation, so we are not willing to smash our transfer record for the player. Some reports actually said that, it could cost us up to £120 million. Don't forget, a couple of days ago, like he updated you, he did reveal that Jadon Sancho's preference is a transfer back home to London. Jadon Sancho actually began his career in London, with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. Don't forget, Chelsea have been relentlessly linked with him. Liverpool have been in for Jadon Sancho. So there you go. But he did reveal a while back, if he was to leave Borussia Dortmund, his preference would be a move to Manchester United, Jadon Sancho's. His preference would be moved to Manchester United, and I already outlined a couple of the reasons why it will be beneficial for us to recommend him in, because, he's got a really, really good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Also, too, he is well proven in the Premier League, because Sancho is a former Manchester City player. He endured 2 years at Manchester City, but never really got any first-team opportunities. So that's the main explanation why I left Manchester City to join Borussia Dortmund and that. Dortmund only paid around £7 million in from City, so if Dortmund do sell him in the summer, they will make a huge profit on the player. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Jadon Sancho is now into his third season at Borussia Dortmund. Like I said, since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation, to be quite honest with you, even though he was dropped in quite a lot of games earlier on in the season and that. Obviously, as well, don't forget Jadon Sancho recently spoken about his deep sacrifices of living in Germany, away from his family and away from his friends and stuff like that. So, yeah, so he wants to make a return back to England, does Jadon Sancho, and he's predominantly a right winger. And don't forget, Manchester United are in search for a right winger. Don't forget it confirmed as well that we're willing to offer him that number 7 shirt. We have got number 7 vacant at the moment, but like I've said before, we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but there again, our recent number 7s haven't been so good. Sanchez was very inconsistent. Memphis Depay, he was also very, very inconsistent back under Louis van Gaal era. If Sancho was to be sold, City would benefit from it, because I think it did say City would get around 15% of the transfer fee and that. But Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. Don't forget Fabrizio Romano, who's another Italian journalist. He confirmed a while back that we've been in contact with Jadon Sancho's agent for quite some time. We've also been working on his contracts as well. I think it did say we're willing to pay Jadon Sancho around £200,000 a week. Borussia Dortmund have lost quite a few of their players in recent years to Premier League clubs. Don't forget Gundogan left Dortmund, Kagawa left Dortmund, Aubameyang left Dortmund, Christian Pulisic left Dortmund. So they have lost quite a few of their imperative players. They really, really have. But yeah, so he's had a long-running transfer saga as Jadon Sancho and that. But, I'm just hopeful that Manchester United can sign him. But it did say the other week, we may have to, sell Pogba and that, to fund the moves for the likes of Jadon Sancho and Jack Grealish. But I think Sancho would go really, really well alongside the likes of Rashford, Mason Greenwood and Anthony Martial in our attacking line. And he's only at the age of 20. Maybe, us getting Champions League football as well, put that into the equation, hinges on whether or not we get Sancho. Because if we don't get qualification for the Champions League, he may not want to come to the football club anyway. So I don't know what's going on with him at the moment. But Solskjaer's still very, very convinced that we can get him, even though he says, it will be totally different, in the summer transfer market and that. But there you go. But like I said to we've been criticised, in recent years, for overpaying for players, because we have overpaid for players in recent years. We paid £75 million for Lukaku, £89 million for Pogba. Pogba is our most expensive signing at the moment. £50 million for Fred, £40 million for Matic, £60 million for Bruno Fernandes, £80 million for Harry Maguire. So we are known for overpaying for players, and and we've also been criticised, of how poor our recruitment policy's been in the last 6 or 7 years or so. So Ed Woodward has received a hell of a lot of criticism, and Ed Woodward is now into his 8th season at Manchester United, because he came here in 2012. Did Ed Woodward. And, we've been very, very critical of him this season, and several years. We've also had a lot of doubts about the club's ownership, the Glazers, because I think the Glazers have been here since 2005, haven't they? So there you go. I obviously, give you the news, didn't I, earlier on Jack Grealish. We have reportedly now stepped up our pursuit of Jack Grealish. We're hoping that we can get Jack Grealish for £50 million. We'll only get Jack Grealish for £50 million, I think, if Villa do get relegated. If Villa do avoid relegation, then I think Jack Grealish will probably cost us 60, maybe £70 million. But probably still believe Manchester United will be determined to pay that. Now, he's one of our priority targets, is Jack Grealish. And I do like Jack Grealish a lot, because I think he's been a revelation at Aston Villa. He's well proven in the Premier League, and he has flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. Jack Grealish has got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023, so he has still got around 3 years remaining on his current contract. Don't forget, back in March, which was quite a few months ago now, don't forget Jack Grealish got fined £150,000, reflecting on the incident with his £80,000 Range Rover, because he had crashed it. And reflecting on that incident, Jack Grealish had come out and publicly apologised, because I think he felt embarrassed about, the incident. And, hours before the incident, he advised people to stay at home due to the coronavirus pandemic and stuff like that. And we've revealed, that Jack Grealish is our preference over James Maddison, but we have got a couple of main explanations for that. Up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa, so he's been loyal to Aston Villa, for several years. But Agbonihol believes he'll stay at Villa. Yardemir Leheski, he believes that Manchester United will sign him and that. So if we sign Sancho and Grealish, that's going to cost us around £170 million for two players, and that is, a hell of a lot of money for two players. Grealish is 24 years of age, can play as an attacking midfielder, but can also play as a winger as well. But I think he's predominantly an attacking mid. He said 3 weeks ago now, I think he said we've got a controversial plan to play Grealish as a right winger, even though he doesn't predominantly play as a right winger. I think for the vast majority of this season, Grealish has been playing on that left-hand side. But he's aware of the speculation he's Grealish anyway. But I think he will leave Aston Villa. Even if Man United don't sign him, I think maybe he could go to maybe Everton because they've been in from Tottenham. But he wants to take his footballing career to the next level because Grealish now believes he's far too good for Aston Villa. So, yeah. Now, let's give you the latest news on Gary Neville, and this is actually stemming from Sky Sports, and it's also coming from quite a few other media outlets. So, Gary Neville has come out with a few interesting stuff, and Gary Neville is very, very confident that Manchester United can challenge Liverpool for the Premier League title next season. And he also believes, does Gary Neville, reflecting on the impact of the coronavirus pandemic, he believes, this will help, Man United and stuff like that. Now, I did say to you, didn't I? I did say to you that if we can get the right number of players in, we can get the right calibre players in the summer, I think we can challenge for the title next season. Now, I don't know, if we can win the title next season, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years, we can win the title. But, some people are very, very sceptical that, we'll win our 21st title under the Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer era. So it is debatable. Like I said, Solskjaer still needs more time. Solskjaer can get some silverware on the board this season, which would be very, very good because it would restore winning mentality. He can win the FA Cup because we're into the quarterfinals. He can win the Europa League, because we are into the last 8 and that. But like I said, City are strides ahead of us at the moment. Liverpool are strides ahead of us at the moment. Of course, Liverpool are sitting top of the Premier League. They are, 25 points clear are Liverpool. They only need 2 wins to clinch their first ever Premier League title, like Gary Neville was saying. So, obviously, Liverpool get 2 wins. They are going to end their 30-year drought, are Liverpool. Because they haven't won the title for, 30 years. Don't forget, Liverpool went on a 44-match unbeaten run this season. Of course, Watford were the team that ended their 44-match unbeaten run. I think, the season will resume, but even if it didn't resume, I still think, Liverpool would get the Premier League title anyway. I just can't see, how they would be denied it because, Liverpool are too far in front at the moment. And maybe Gary Neville came out with this as well because, Liverpool did recently suggest themselves that they might not be making any signings in the summer. Obviously, Liverpool have had the likes of Timo Werner on their agenda. I've been talking with you about Timo Werner recently. They've had the likes of Kalidou Koulibaly on their agenda. They want to partner up Kalidou Koulibaly with Virgil van Dijk in their back line. There was a lot of talks about Liverpool being in for Mbappe quite a few weeks ago, but obviously, now that's not going to happen. So Liverpool realistically don't need signings, but, they need signings for backups in case, they do get injuries and stuff like that. But if Liverpool want to continue this dominance up, they'll have to get signings anyway because put into the equation, Liverpool are going to sell players in the summer. I think they're probably going to get rid of a good 5 or 6 players in the summer are Liverpool. They're probably going to get rid of Klein, Lovren, Lallana, Shaqiri and Origi. They're the players they could get rid of. They could get rid of Harry Wilson as well on a permanent transfer. They could get rid of Adrian. Adrian is Liverpool's second choice goalkeeper. And he's made a lot of calamitous mistakes as Adrian. Let's just put that into the equation. So, Liverpool have been very, very critical of him and that. But Liverpool, have been totally dominant this season. And like I said to you before, Liverpool have come close on quite a few occasions to win the Premier League. They came close last season, finished on 97 points. They came close back in 2013-14 season under the Brendan Rodgers era. So they've come close quite a few times. And, Jurgen Klopp has been a long-serving manager now at Liverpool. He's now into his 5th season with them. Fifth year, yeah, and he's managed over 200 odd games for Liverpool in all competitions as Jurgen Klopp. Liverpool did recommend him in from Borussia Dortmund. Jurgen Klopp so far has won 3 major honours with Liverpool. He won the Super Cup earlier on in the season, the FIFA Club World Cup, and he won the Champions League at the end of last season. Liverpool have won a total of 6 Champions Leagues. And when they win the Premier League this season, it will be Jurgen Klopp's 4th major honour as Liverpool manager, and that I think maybe 7th or 8th in total. Put into the equation, the couple of titles. He won Germany's time at Borussia Dortmund. Don't forget, Jurgen Klopp extended his Liverpool contract earlier on in the season till 2024, and probably am convinced, to be quite honest with you, that Jurgen Klopp will see out the remainder of his contract, and when he does eventually leave Liverpool, I think he probably, will make a return back to Germany. That's what I think from my own perception anyway. But yeah, it's definitely the foreseeable future for them and that. But, I hate to say it, but I hate Liverpool a lot, as you all know, but they've deserved the lead this season, because the football's been expansive. A lot of their players have performed very, very well. I've got to say I've been impressed with Henderson for them. Salah's a world-class player, but I don't think he's been clinical this season. I think Mane's done well for them. He could also be possibly sold. Trent Alexander-Arnold's done well for them at right back. Andrew Robertson hasn't done so bad for them at left back and that. So there you go. And that. And Liverpool, I don't think made any big signings in the summer. I think they only got Adrian on the free. They did get Takuma Mino back in January and that. But I think Liverpool are strides ahead of us at the moment. They really, really are. They really, really are strides ahead of us. But let's put City into the equation. They haven't been nowhere near as good, as there was, last season and the season before, because Manchester City have won 2 back-to-back Premier League titles. They won it last season, the season before. There was hoping this season that they could have won their 3rd title on the trot. So they was looking to replicate what we did back in 07, 08 and 09. But obviously Man City are not going to do this. City did finish on 100 points a couple of years ago. This is why they are called the Citizens. And Liverpool are hoping, to break Manchester City's record. That's if the season, does resume. At Liverpool on like 80 odd points at the moment, But City, I think have lost as many games this season as they have done in the past 2 seasons combined. Pep Guardiola has revealed his ambition, and his ambition is to win the Champions League. He hasn't won the Champions League yet as Manchester City manager. City have never won the Champions League in their history. That's the only thing Manchester City have not won. They did win the domestic treble last season and stuff like that. But yeah, they've been nowhere near as good this season. But despite the fact we've beaten City 3 times this season, and Solskjaer has become the first manager in history to beat Pep Guardiola 3 times in one season, I still think, City, at least a couple of years ahead of us at the moment. So it is a long process for my club, Manchester United, to get us back, up there competing and that. I'm sceptical that Solskjaer is the foreseeable future for the football club. Now, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. So the last time we won it was in Alex Ferguson's last season. But, we are the most successful team in English football because, we have won 20 titles, 13 of them are Premier Leagues and that. But yeah, we'll see what happens going on into next season. But, like I've said, I've, taken some positives so far from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure. Like I said, he's promoted the youth very, very well. The young players have been given their chances this season. We are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. I've also got to credit him as well, for making the signing of Bruno Fernandes because, definitely Bruno Fernandes has saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at the football club. I think also reflecting on our record against the big teams this season, you can say that's also saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at the football club and that. But, Ed Woodward, said on numerous occasions, Solskjaer's job is safe and he's willing to back him in the summer transfer market and that. But like I said, we've been so inconsistent for the last 6 or 7 years. Like I said, we've had different managers with different philosophies. Manchester United are not really known for the sacking football club, despite the fact that we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. Of course, we sacked David Moyes, He endured 8 and 9 months at the football club. We sacked Louis van Gaal. He endured 2 years at the football club. And we sacked, Jose Mourinho, and he endured 2.5 years at the football club. We've only won 3 trophies in the last 7 years, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under the Jose Mourinho era and that. So that just indicates how, how inconsistent Man United have been. And we have recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era, and spent close to the £1 billion range on players and that. And, I think we've spent more than Manchester City. We spent a hell of a lot more than Liverpool. I think they've spent around 460 million since Klopp got recommended in. I think Pep Guardiola, in all his managerial career, has spent over £1 billion on players, but that's including what he spent at Barcelona, and that's including what he spent at Bayern Munich and that. So there you go. But I don't think, we'll ever be the team that we was under Alex Ferguson, because Ferguson endured 27 years at Manchester United. Of course, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, but, he did endure 20-odd years of success. And I think, we won 38 major honours under the Alex Ferguson era, so there you go and that. But yeah, I'm still determined to back Solskjaer, I really, really am. But hopefully next season we can enjoy a better season, than what we've enjoyed this season, because, we have enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season, we really, really haven't that. I have reservations about, some of the players we've got, and I've got reservations about Solskjaer, as you already know. But, he does deserve more time at the football club. I think if it had been another manager this season, he probably would have been sacked by now. So you can definitely say that is debatable and that. Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United earlier on in the season. You had Massimiliano Allegri, there was also talks about him coming in as well. But he'll be here next season, will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We are sitting 5th in the Premier League at the moment. Yes, we are. So Neville believes, Man United can, challenge for the title next season. This is what Gary Neville does believe. Gary Neville, is a great player for the football club, like I mentioned. Very, very good right back for us. And, he experienced, the success at Manchester United, did Gary Neville. And he exactly knows what we need to do, what Solskjaer needs to do to get us back, to that elite level. Because Gary Neville, is a very, very good pundit and a very, very respectable pundit as well. So this is what, Gary Neville has come out and said. Obviously, Neville, doesn't want Liverpool to win the league. He had Rooney coming out early on in the season, saying, that, Liverpool should be given the league, but he doesn't want them to win the league, obviously, Wayne Rooney. So there you go and that. Obviously, I give you the news, didn't I, on Paul Pogba earlier on today. According to Marca, which is a Spanish newspaper, they've obviously, confirmed that, Real Madrid are no longer interested in signing Paul Pogba. There's a couple of main explanations, and them explanations is because Real Madrid are not willing to spend a substantial amount on him, because Real Madrid have got other midfielder targets on their agenda. So this is a boost for us now. I said anyway, Paul Pogba's going to be staying at Manchester United, next season. I'm not sure about the foreseeable future, but I think Solskjaer has confirmed he's very, very excited about the prospects of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes playing together in our midfield. Don't forget, Paul Pogba did reveal yesterday. Did Paul Pogba, that he's revealed his plans ahead of his return. And he aims to be the best in the world. Paul Pogba's been out of an ankle injury for a while. He's been out for a good 7 or 8 months, and he's only played 8 times this season for Manchester United and that. But yeah, I think he's now staying at the football club, is Paul Pogba. So you already know the news on him. Don't forget, swap deals as well have been on the agenda. Because obviously, it said Juventus are willing to offer up to 3 of their players for Paul Pogba. PSG came out the other week and offered 2 of their players. Inter Milan have also been in for him. Paul Pogba did say last summer he wanted to leave. He said earlier on this year that he told his teammates that he wanted to leave, but I think his perception's changed now. He wants to stay at the football club. I think the only way Pogba'd be here for the foreseeable future, and that's if, we did get him a new long-term contract and that. Obviously as well, you do know the news on Odion Ighalo. Odion Ighalo, by the way, has come out and made an admission saying that he wants his loan deal extended at the football club, till the season is finished. So he wants his loan extended until the season is finished. He still remains uncertain at the moment whether we're going to get Odin Igalo on a permanent transfer. It's already been confirmed it'll cost us around £15 million to get Odin Igalo on a permanent transfer, which is a cheap solution, to be fair. You know, he's enjoyed a good start to his Manchester United career. We have got Igalo on loan at the moment. We're paying like a third of his wages, and we paid like £4 million to get him on loan. But Igalo's loan spell does expire at the football club at the end of this month and that. But he did say we'll wait until the season resumes, you know, before we enter negotiations with Shanghai Shenhua to extend his loan deal at the football club. But I think he's been a very, very good covered up to Marcus Rashford anyway as Odin Igalo. Like I said to you before, we've got around 9 players' contracts that are due to expire at the end of the season. So that's something else, you know, we do need to sort out. But there you go. You know, so there you go. And so there you go. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop me comments, likes below on this channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.